Oh, hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gotzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of Week 3 of Season 1 of 2022 of the Stock Carnival Do Brasil, coming to you from scenic Fuji International Raceway in Japan. We have a bit of technical difficulties tonight. Only one mic seems to be working. Antonio is working on his side right now. But that's why we're a little late getting into this thing. We're trying to give him maximum time to get that mic working. If he joins us, he will join mid-broadcast. But let's take a look at the starting lineup of the first heat race for tonight as qualifications are complete. And we'll get that up on the screen here. Here's your starting grid. Christopher Hill on the pole, P1, Facundo, and I know you guys are going to give me a hard time on pronouncing these names. Sorry, that's another reason why we wish Antonio was here. Badrago, P2, Murcia, P3, Miranda, P4, Montero, P5, Shorts in P6, Oliveira, P7, Wang in 8th, Vergon in 9th, Poteet 10th, Tucker 11th, Luzon 12th, Johnston in 13th, James Watson starting 14th, Dan Miglin 15th, and Drew White bringing up the rear in the 16th position. Nice showing tonight of cars here at Fuji. Since this is a track many of us are not familiar with, we'll go ahead and bring in the track map for you there. This very long straight getting ready to go green. For the first heat race, we'll remind you of the format here just a second. Christopher Hill is starting from the pits. We'll talk about that here in a second. And we are getting ready to go green. Bringing them down very slowly, very slowly. And there they go. They are off. Green flag here at Fuji Speedway. For the first time with the Brazilian stock cars as they fan out 4 wide in the mid-pack. Side by side, Rago and Marcia go. Now we have the 99 of Montero behind the leader. Despite qualifying on the pole, Christopher Hill had to start from the pits for the first heat race tonight for a unsafe rejoin last week. So he will have to come from deep in the field while everyone has a head start. I believe JJ Wang also had an EOL for tonight's first race as well. Remember, after a 60-minute practice, which they just participated in, and a 10-minute or 10-lap qual run, the first heat race is 30 laps or 15 minutes, whatever comes first. Normally, it's been lately the laps, but we will see here. Just want to make a test, make sure people can still hear me on the audio.
test, make sure people can still hear me on the audio.
And I heard myself in the stream. So we are broadcasting. Oh, little contact in the back there. Looks like with Bruno Miranda. Bruno gets it straightened up. A lot of runoff area here at Fuji. Looks like we're going to be able to do 8 laps for this first heat race. Montero is your leader. And the number 99, Yukos eSports entry, the green, white, and black Chevy Cruze. And then right behind him, the points leader, Rago. And we will look at the points here momentarily. This field is starting to get pretty well stretched out. We'll go to the back, further back there, and I think we've had a side-by-side battle. There we go. That's J.J. Wang and Alexander Poteet. Actually, it's Oliveira. Oliveira getting the position. Poteet right behind Wang. This is the battle for 7th. So what happens at the end of the heat race is that the first 8 get inverted. So whoever finishes 8th will start the feature, which is 60 laps or 30 minutes. They will start to feature on the pole. So play some strategery, and also, I mean, it also impacts the points. And if someone in chat can confirm whether they hear audio or not, just say yes, no, yes audio, no audio. Check on another source, but I think we are getting audio on the yeah, see, I'm on my phone there. That's how. So we're getting audio. Something's not right with. I think another one of the setups here. We'll try to keep working on that as we get going here. 6 laps to go here before we reach the time limit. We're starting to get a little battle going up further here between the 99 Montero. They're all starting to group together. I think a lot of that has to do with the long straights here at Fuji. Of course, Formula One used to come here many years. IndyCar has been here once and a long time ago during the USAC Champ Car era. Jackie Stewart won that race. Originally, the facility was built to be an oval track, and then they decided to go ahead and build it into a road course because the oval, I believe, was going to be too expensive, I think is what it was. But it was going to be the Indy 500 of the Far East. Everybody, just about everyone on push to pass going down that main straight. Let's get you a running order at the moment here. Currently watching Montero in the 99, P4. His teammate right with him in the 19 there. Bruno Miranda. See him quite frequently on the channel, mainly in IndyCar. Okay, thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate that. Andrea, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Guys have been lifesavers tonight. Let us know your favorites. Make sure we'll put them on camera for you. But it looks like Rago is trying to run away. Of course, he finishes first here in the first heat race. He'll get the maximum points, which we will show you the point situation here in just a second. And then he will be slotted back to the 8th position when the feature starts. And from what we've seen at Summit Point, he will have no problem passing people. And as you see how wide the racetrack is here at Fuji compared to Summit Point was about 2 cars wide, and that one shot easily 3 of the 4 cars wide here with these mid-compact, I guess, cars, what they be called here in the United States, the Toyota, and then of course the Chevy Cruze.
Yeah, quite a difference between track width from last week.
And we got out. We got you. Great.
Hey, hello. Just 1 second. All right, we're all set.
All right. Well, better late than never, but allow me to introduce my partner in the booth tonight, expert analysis. He's my teammate in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. It's Antonio Estrada. Antonio, last week when we were just talking, we were at Summit Point, which is more of a, let's call it a gentleman's racer's course. However, today we move back to a more, I guess, let's say proper racetrack for these cars, Fuji. How will the racing is going to be different today as opposed to what we saw last week? And I think we've already started to see hints of that coming down that main straight with the way that this group is kind of strung out a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, Gary. Something that we're definitely going to see is a little bit more of separation between the cars, which is something that will naturally happen due to the length and the width of the track. You cannot really get away from anyone else in Summit Point last week, but here it's so large. There are certain points where you're going to be able to check out a little bit from the cars behind you. There are a lot of differences. There are a lot of elevation changes that really offset the car. There are a couple of off-camber corners which are quite tough to deal with, especially the corners 13 and 16. And although I see that we're not running the chicane, so that's gonna make it a little better for that Dunlop corner exiting turn 10. It's gonna allow these cars to drive off a little bit more and keep them a little bit more stable. And yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna see a little bit of a different racing, but also we're gonna see that push to pass come into play in that very large front straight that we have here at Fuji.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be on a front straight any longer, or at least any straighter than that all season long. That might even include Interlagos when they revisit there here in a couple of weeks. And while we talk about that, let's take a look at the point situation. Let me bring that up on screen here. There is the point situation. Orago is your leader. Montero is only 4 points behind. That is a very tight top 2. Then we come down to P3 and P4. We're very tight there as well. And then a tight 5th and 6th. So we seem to be running and competing a lot in pairs. That might have to do with the way that the points are kind of handed out versus the feature race versus the heat race. But you do get points for both. There you see the big gainer last week was Vigon, which we were just watching on screen. The Frenchman up 5 spots. Unfortunately, the big loser last week, Bruno Miranda. But we've seen Bruno Miranda come back from hardships many times before. So we'll expect him to recover pretty easily from one bad week off to another.
Yeah, both Christopher Hill and Bruno Miranda, they dropped in that list, and that was mainly because of that lap 1 snafu they had on the heat race last week at Summit Point. That basically netted them very little points, and that's why they're not fighting up there for the first spots with Rago and Montero. And I mean, those two have been the class of the field so far in this season. And I mean, last week I said that they were 54 points up for grabs per session or per week. The truth of the matter is it's 56. That's the maximum that you can get. What I didn't include last week was did you get points for a pole position and also for being on the front row? So P1 and P2 they both get well, P1 gets 2 points, P2 gets 1 point. So that's also something else that's very important for these guys to go ahead and qualify, even if they have a penalty like Chris Hill did today.
Right. And Chris Hill, we do have him on cam right now. There he is in the 101 Team Watson's racing setups. He is currently moved himself up to 6th. So we might remember he started from the pits. That was his penalty. Starting from pit road, you saw him sitting there revving his engine, waiting to go as we came to green. We're on the white flag lap, by the way, but he has moved his way up to 6th. So that is, if he holds his spot, that's going to translate the 3rd starting spot for the feature. Picking up our leader, Rago, as he is already halfway through the lap. This is turn 8 into turn 9, little kink. And of course 10, this is where normally a chicane would be if Formula 1 was here. Although we did a IndyCar test here not too long ago, and they did not use the chicane there, and they seem to really like that. So, but then again, I think I can't think of any IndyCar driver that wouldn't mind one less chicane.
Yeah, for sure. And that chicane, I mean, luckily we don't have it. While I was driving doing some testing in this car, I did have that chicane in there, and it was a little bit of a nightmare. So very, very happy that they don't need to do it this time around.
Now getting ready to make that turn down the main straight to get the win for maximum points for the first race of tonight. Rago is your winner. As he gets ready to cross the line here in Fuji, he will be slotted back to 8th for the next round feature race. Macera is P2, Montero P3, Miranda, there he is, P4. The Frenchman, Vignon, P5. Christopher Hill works his way back up to P6. A great run for him. He's probably pretty exhausted already, and he still has a 30-minute feature race to go. And, oh, here comes everybody barreling into the final turn here. So let's take a look real quick, if we can, at the results for the first race here. It's Rago, Macera, Montero, Miranda, Vegon, Hill, Wang, Short, Poteet, Oliveira, Luzon, Watson, Johnston, White, and Miglin at the top 15. And I believe that is it. Yeah, and Joshua Tucker, P16. Yep, P16. And we got a 16-car field. That's a pretty good showing for tonight. So the first 8 will invert when we line back up. We do have a little bit of a warm-up here, which everyone will be allowed to do real quick. Just to let you know, on the feature race, again, it's 60 laps or 30 minutes, whatever comes first. 30% fuel. Great picture there of Mount Fuji, the volcano, active volcano still. But 30% fuel these cars will carry. They can perform a tire change if they want to, but the general consensus and rule is they're not going to change tires pretty much the entire season. Yeah,
there's really no need to do that. It takes a lot of time, and you don't really gain anything by it. And these tires can easily be double stinted, no problem at all. So, I mean, Rago, he's basically showing up every single week. I mean, he keeps pounding at the field and then getting wins left and right.
Well, let's take an opportunity to look at the remaining schedule for the season. After today, and we go to next week to Laguna Seca, we are halfway through the first campaign here in the Stock Carnaval do Brasil series. This is their first season of 2022. We will go to Laguna Seca. Then the following week, we will do the road course at Phoenix. That should be interesting. Then everyone will make their first trip to Sandown. I have never seen that track before. That should be pretty interesting. Then, wow, this could be pretty interesting as well. Watching these guys go down the back straight there at Watkins Glen, we'll probably see ample use of the push to pass at that course. And then they will wrap up with their second trip to Interlagos at the 1st of September. So that is the Stock Car do Brasil series schedule for the remainder of this season.
Should we bring Facundo here to talk a little bit about his win?
Let's see, is he ready? Yeah, let's go ahead and bring him on. And I'll tell you what, I learned my lesson last time. I will let you drive. So we bring him on in, and you can go right ahead.
Facundo, Gary, and Tony here at the booth. How you doing? How about that win? You keep racking them up.
Hey boys, how are you? What's up? Yeah, well, yeah, I was very happy with the race win with Sebastian, my teammate. We went like controlling the race after the spin of Ezekiel, but yeah, he was really quick. The fight with him was amazing. I enjoyed it a lot, but yeah, I got a bit lucky, you know, after the penalized for Chris. Yeah, and well, it was a good race overall. I got plenty of room to make my own place, but yeah, I got lucky at the start, like I said, and yeah, it was pretty fun to fight with these guys.
For sure, it definitely seemed that way from up here. So this seems quite different from last week at Summit Point, where everyone was pretty much close together. What do you think is going to be the key to earning that victory with the longer feature race?
I think the main key is going to be patient overall. This track is very tricky, very difficult. You only have one opportunity to overtake, you know, after the long straight down to turn 1. Then it's tricky to follow here with the car. It's very loose on the last sector, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of patience to get back at the top and fight again with Ezekiel, Bruno, my teammate Sebastian. It's gonna be fun for sure.
All right, fantastic. Well, congratulations again. We're gonna let you go. Anyone you're gonna give a shout out to?
All right, thank you. Bueno, en español, gracias a los chicos de TR otra vez. Vamos a ver qué pasa ahora en la principal. Muchas gracias a Seba también, que corrió un animal, así que bueno, ahora vamos a ver qué pasa en la feature.
Buenísimo, felicitaciones, Facundo.
Gracias.
Well, there we go.
There we go, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how drivers manage that push-to-pass situation, because only having 6, it's going to hinder them a little bit in that, although you are going to see something different from last week at Summit Point, where whenever you used your push-to-pass, you basically didn't get to use it again until 2 laps later. Here, since the laps are much longer, you should be able to use it on the front stretch, then do your thing,
right,
and then
right.
use it again.
Well, and just a reminder, everybody, on the push to pass, because the majority of our coverage is IndyCar here. The push to pass here is you can use the push to pass, but once you're done using it for 85 seconds, and it's on the whole time, which is a little bit different than IndyCar. IndyCar is the second you come off 100% throttle, the push to pass disengages, and you only have 10 pushes of it. That can last up to 20 seconds. For here, it's a push that's on the whole time for 85 seconds, and then you have to wait there's a cooldown period. That's another 85 seconds, correct? That you can't use it again until that cooldown period is up?
Yeah, so the button, whenever you press it, it has a delay of 5 seconds to engage. Once it kicks in, it stays on for 21 seconds.
21 seconds, okay. All right.
And then you work at 85 seconds for it to be available again.
Okay. So yeah, you get a bit of a cooldown period. You can't mash the button as some people do in IndyCar. Here, you got to be a little bit more strategic about it. So let's take a look here at the lineup for the feature. We got Matthew Short, who finished in the 8th spot. We'll start here on the front row in the pole position. Right next to him is JJ Wang. There is Christopher Hill. He recovered from starting in the pits. Actually, JJ Wang recovered from an EOL. So both great starts for them. There's a Frenchman, Vignon. Miranda has lined up. There he is. Right next to him is Montero. Macera, P7, and Facundo Rago. He, by virtue of winning, is inverted back to the number 8 spot. And then everyone from 9 on back is where they finished in the feature. Poteet, Oliveira, Luzon, Watson, Johnston, White, Miglin, and Tucker. And very shortly, we are going to go racing one more time here for 30 minutes or 60 laps, whatever comes first.
Whatever comes first, but yeah, like Facundo was saying in his interview, you really need to be patient, especially on the feeder race, because you have a lot of time to make up spots in case you, for whatever reason, get a little squabbly or whatever. There is time to get those spots back.
Bring the track map back out. See, they have a very, very long run to the start zone. That was one of the things of points of contention from last week. I guess the start zone was not really defined very well. They redefined the start zone, so they have to wait till the green is given. They cannot get a head start here with the pace car pulling off. They have to wait for the green. Once the green goes, they can commence racing, and we are almost there. It just seems like it takes forever, especially when we're used to IndyCar racing here on the channel. And there you go, and they're already starting to fan out 3 wide behind. Here's a good look at them all coming down the turn 1. 4 wide, 5 wide at one point to the inside. Matthew Short, a road racing veteran, is going to hold the lead. JJ Wang, who is among the series points leaders, is going to be right there with him. Christopher Hill slotted in behind his teammate Wang. Miranda in a battle there with the Frenchman. Here is Montero. Ooh. Almost a little contact there between Vagon and Miranda. Everyone's still pretty good together coming at corner number 10, which could be a passing zone. Oh, one of the Team Watson cars going sliding. That is Joshua Tucker. Nope, that is.
I think it was Poteet.
That's Poteet. There it is. He's back underway. He still has a long way to go, though. He should not panic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're just getting started, and you can make up some spots. That's bound to happen. Just shrug it off and let's go back at it. I'm looking at the front group. Both the Juncos teammates and the Argentos teammates, they're staying together pretty much all race long. I mean, that's something to be interesting, how they're going to move up through the field. And also, we need to remember that on the first lap, that push to pass button is unavailable. So
it's disabled. That is correct. Look at Christopher Hill's back of his car. Has he got damage?
Yeah, somebody ran a little bit hot on one of the corners and gave him a little tap, but I think it's fine. I don't see really any performance loss in that car. Just
Robbins racing. Robbins race, that's right. Get a good look to the inside of the roll cage configuration of these cars through his trunk there. Good thing that, yeah, if that was on the front, that'd be like a huge parachute.
Miranda and Vignon, they're fighting with JJ Wang. They're for P4, P5 now.
Coming 3 wide just about here into corner number 10. Oh, little door check there from Wang to Miranda. And we're 3 wide, rejoining the racetrack.
Yeah, and Maceda and Rago, they're both trying to capitalize on that, and they will. And Miranda goes from 4th to P8, just like that. And a little bit more of hip checks there from Maceira to JJ Wang.
Yeah, I'm thinking when it came to the teammate, not a lot of consideration was given that time.
Yeah, no.
Probably gets on the radio and it says, "Give that guy a little nudge for me, would you?"
Yeah. And now Rago is trying to get by Maceira.
Here we go, 3 wide down the main straight. And we're looking at Rafael Oliveira right there in the middle. JJ Wang is kind of falling behind. He might be, well, he wasn't on the button. Just about everyone else was.
Yeah, that 100 extra horsepower really gives you that boost and makes it seem like you're even letting off the gas. Well, you're not.
So we are projecting 18 laps here for the feature. We're only 3 laps in.
Yeah, you should be able to do around 10 laps on a fuel tank. So then you would probably need to bid around, halfway, maybe a little bit more than that. Get around 6 to 8 gallons, and you should be ready to go all the way to the end. And it basically takes around a second per gallon, so you should be under pit stall around 7-8 seconds or something like that, maybe even a little less if you're able to conserve some fuel. And yeah, again, no tire change, because that would set you back another 30 seconds.
Battle is at the front. Hill is not letting Short get away.
Side by side now. And Hill is going to be able to complete that move.
Hill with a slightly damaged car to the lead. Short will try to get that back here at the end of the long straightaway. I want to thank everyone for being there patient tonight and being here watching the program. We'd like to let you know that more than half of you watching tonight are not subscribers, and if you could do us a big favor and change that by hitting subscribe, you'd be doing us a big favor. We're on a big drive to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy our coverage of iRacing and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. We have less than 120 to go. We got one of the Bruno Miranda at the top of the hill there, recovering. Yeah, we got about less than 120 subscribers to go. You could do us a big favor by hitting that subscribe button right now to get us to that 1,000 mark. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash the like button as well, and click the bell so you don't miss out on more future iRacing broadcasts, including the next round of the Brazilian Stock Car Series. And tomorrow, Antonio and I will be doing IndyCars at Indianapolis on the brand newly released road course, Indy GP road course. We're doing that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time right here on Race First. So be sure to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell. We certainly would appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure we will. I was just watching Rago, and he didn't seem to be as patient as he wanted to be on that interview. He had a run-in with Matthew Short then, and then there were 3 wide for P3, and he had to fall back to P6 to avoid wrecking. So yeah, that's tempers are flaring here.
Yeah, looks like Short went from the lead all the way back to the mid-pack in rather quick order. But he's still hanging on, still in a good points-paying position, but Tarago is right on him. Actually, Short is pulling away. He's on the button.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh, he went right. We just missed that one. He went right to the... Oh, and there's contact. And
Matthew Short and Sebastian Maceira, they were just wrecked.
Yeah, and let's take a look at that. We'll go back and rewind and go back in the Wayback Machine and check that one out as they were coming down the main straight. Short was on the button. That's Maceira. Maceira gets him a bit of the Pruitt fade, and they make contact. So he runs him down to the white line into the... oh, interesting. It's tough to it's tough to pin that one on someone. We'll let Race Control make a call on that, but Yeah, he kind of faded him down to the white line and then to the pit exit paint there. And Short had to take it all the way down there. And, of course, he was going to have a horrible entry in the one, being that low on the racetrack. And then, unfortunately, he and Macera collected each other at corner entry there. And it looks like they both might be done. They're both in the pits. They believe they towed. So they are going to be there for a considerable amount of time. So we also got Bruno Miranda also in the pits. So each one of the big teams has one of their cars in the pits for one reason or another. I'm not sure what happened to Miranda, but he's there.
Yeah, I think it was due to that incident he had lap before.
Okay.
But I was looking at that incident between Matthew Short and Sebastian Maceira, and yeah, I mean, I don't think there was any way that any of them was gonna make that corner. So yeah, that's gonna be like you said, that's gonna be tough for race control to decide what to do. So the Team Watson teammates are checking each other out there.
We go back to Team Watson there.
Yeah, Dan Miglin and James Watson there had a little bit of an issue, but
Watson's the boss, so you got to be careful there.
Yeah, for sure. And Ezequiel Montero just went by Olivier Vignon for P2.
Yeah, Vignon has quietly kept his nose very clean and has worked his way up to P3 and is just kind of hanging out. Again, last week we were just talking about him doing that. He was just kind of, but then the very next lap, as soon as we said that, he automatically, he like dropped all his patience, was like, hey, check this out. Olivier's very, very patient and everything. And the next lap, he's like trying to pass everybody everywhere. But it looks like this lap he is actually maintaining patience, following Montero in his tire tracks. And they're both maybe trying to track down Christopher Hill and preventing Hill from running away. I'm not sure how much of the damage is hurting Hill, but Hill is slightly pulling away. He has a bit of a advantage. We'll bring the ticker out for you here and show everybody what the gaps are. So
yeah, it looks like a second, a little bit over a second between Hill and Montero right now.
Yep, Montero and Vignon both on the push to pass. Ate up a lot of space that time. Montero 8/10 back. Vignon having a little difficulty at corner exit, probably because of that push to pass button. He is falling now back about 2.5 seconds. And here comes the other big team involved in today's race. Facundo Arago, your points leader, and there he is. And he is now looking at attacking Olivier Vignon here as we are just about to the halfway point. Not sure when these guys are going to pit, but there is a pit stop coming for at least fuel for all these cars.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Rago seems to be doing the same thing he did last week at Summit Point. He also had an early incident on the future race. He went down to P8 or 10 or something like that, and then he clawed back all the way to the front. And I mean, right now, quietly, he went all the way back to P6, P7 because of that incident he had, and now he's all the way back to P4. So this is kind of playing right into his hands again.
Let's take a look at the interval between Arago and Vignon. It's 1.6 seconds, 1.5 to Vignon. Looks like Montero is caught
Montero's
up.
right on
Yeah,
it.
looks like he's run downhill. Hill is on push to pass this time.
And that's going to give a little bit of a, drafting to Ezequiel Montero for free.
Now, is that green light you see in their dash right there, is that indicative of them being on push to pass?
That's indicative of it being available for them.
Okay, okay.
When you turn it off, well, when it's turned off, that means that you either engaged it or you are waiting on the cooldown period.
All right. Kind of reminds me of the LED name or number plates the Indy cars used to have, the DW12s. They would, I believe, they would blink green or something if they were on their push to pass, so people could see it on TV. Yeah, so very interesting. That's a good way. That's actually an excellent way to let the people in the stands know, because here we have telemetry. It's virtual racing. We can tell you when they're on it just very easily by looking at our telemetry overlays. And yeah, I guess if you went to a race for real, you would really have no way of knowing, just assuming, I'm guessing. And speaking of assuming in a battle here, we got a battle now has shrunk up here between Rago and Vignon. They are right next to each other.
Yeah, that's for P3, and again, looks like Facundo Rago is doing what it said, and it's playing right into his hands. Just be patient and pick them up one by one. There, as he tries and make a move there for P3 on the exit of turn 13.
Yeah, looks like Vignon had a very wide exit there. Looks like he had some understeer. Rago not on push to pass.
I'm trying to go for the lead. I'm sorry, but he actually does it. He makes it past
take a look here. The lead there he is on push to pass. Had to dive deep in, but he gets the pass pulled off, and he's able to get back out wide to make his braking and turn into turn 1. And now we're going to see if Christopher Hill can keep up, if that damage really is inhibiting him any. But Rago did get around Vignon right there. He drafted him down the main straight and pulled out and passed him natural style without push to pass. Showing some drivers in the pits. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Johnston, Miglin in the pits right now. Short in the pits, Macera in the pits, but I believe Macera is due to an incident, but I do believe Short is there for an extended stay. Watson has been to pit road already for new set of tires. I believe his stop is done, or not new set of tires, fuel. Johnston on pit road. Looks like that is a scheduled stop for fuel. Miglin
just went by Ezequiel Montero, but I think he's gonna get a slowdown.
Oh, did he go a little wide there?
Yeah, he went a little wide on the exit of that turn, and I'm guessing he has to serve a slowdown, but he's still up front.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on the cars that have made their pit stops. Scheduled pit stops for Tucker, Miglin, Watson, and Montero. Yeah, he is going to take the wide shot there.
A little bit of an undercut.
A long pit road here, as you would imagine here at Fuji Speedway, Fuji International Speedway. Due to the long straight here, there we go. Watch him, see him coming into his stall, hitting his marks, and they will just add fuel, and he will be away here very shortly.
Or not that shortly.
Hope we didn't have a speeding penalty. 16, 17, maybe he's changing tires? I don't know.
Something's not right there.
Any mandatory repairs or something? Yeah, he's been in the box for 27 seconds already, so... And
wow, that changes everything.
Yes, and everyone else is kind of coming in behind him on a scheduled stop. Yeah, he's still there. We're watching, and I don't know... Well, we'll go back to Christopher Hill now, who is your leader by 3 seconds over Facundo Rago. We were kind of teasing him earlier when patience was easier said than done, and he has maintained that patience since that moment, and he is now up to P2 just by really driving his own race. Here comes Christopher Hill to pit road. And here comes Rago, and here comes Vignon.
Yeah, so it was a 49-second stop for Montero. So that's probably maybe.
That's gotta be speeding, isn't it? Yeah, is it speeding a 40-second hold?
Maybe. Yeah, that could also be it.
JJ Wang was set to inherit the lead. He is on pit road. Luzon in that Yates Racing livery, Toyota or Texaco Star livery.
Hill is gone.
Watson is
9.2
back out on the
seconds.
race tricks. Yeah, he had a great stop in the box 39, in the on pit road for 40.1, in the box for 9.1. Rago on pit road for 40.2, in the box for 9 flat. So about a push there. He didn't really gain much time at all. And also Vignon, he was on pit road for a 40 flat and in the box for 9.2. So everybody's about the same amount of time. No one's really making up space there on pit road by virtue of a pit stop. They're going to have to make it up here on the racetrack the old-fashioned way. But that is your top three. Hill by 4 seconds over Rago. Rago by 1.2 over Vignon. And Vignon has 12 seconds over Wang and P4. Watson, the head of all of Watson Racing there, he is 5 seconds, actually 11 seconds up to Wang. 5 seconds ahead of Luzon. So we got 8 laps to go.
Yeah, and Montero after that that stop went all the way back to P9, and he seems to be 8.5 seconds away from Rafael Oliveira there on P8. So I'm not sure he's going to be able to make very many moves here. Yeah, I'm not sure if he had damage or if he just forgot to change to uncheck the tire change.
There's everyone's best lap right now. About a 143 is what you're seeing for a best lap. Rago, 143 flat, it looks like, is the purple lap at the moment. No, actually, Montero, 142.8. That is actually your purple lap. So lap here around, it takes, it's 140-ish, so it's about the same amount of time it takes an IndyCar to lap Road America is about 1 lap here for Brazilian Stock Car at Fuji.
Yeah, pretty much. Just watching that, I think Facundo Rago and Vignon, they were both on push to pass, trying to close that gap a little bit to Chris Hill. And they actually did. I mean,
They
Facundo
did.
Rago was 4.5 seconds behind Hill, and now he's
within
3.5.
Yeah, he's within 3. And let's give you a readout on the push to pass situation with 7 laps remaining here at Fuji. I want to thank everyone for joining us, putting up with the audio issues to start. Thank you very much for your patience. But you are watching Race First coverage of Stock Car Data Brazil series, their Fuji International Speedway round, where we have 7 laps to go. Your leader is Christopher Hill. Christopher Hill has 3 push to passes left. Rago has 3 as well, and Vignon has 3. So your top, your podium basically all have 3 more shots at this thing to try to close the gap.
Yeah, it looks like Rago went a little bit wide and that's going to allow Chris Hill to grow the, enhance that lead a little bit. So now it's back to 3.7, something like that. So he gained around 4/10.
I'm being told that the Texaco Star is also a Brazilian stock car livery. Well, I'm sure they got it from Yates Racing when it was on Winston Cup car for years and years and years before, but I will take your word for it.
Yeah, and we haven't talked a lot about Ben Luzon. He's been super consistent the entire season. He's always been around the top, top 5, around maybe top 6, top 8, and
Yeah, exactly where he is. Yeah.
doing a great job there in P6, and actually, closing the gap to P5 with James Watson. He's running him down.
Yeah, it's a good segue right there. He is running down Watson as they enter turn 1 here. He is within striking distance. He has 2 push to passes left. Watson has 2. Dan Miglin has used all of his up. Matt Johnston has 1 left. Poteet has 1 left. Matthew Short, after starting on the front row and leading the first opening set of laps, unfortunately ran into some issues, had to do an extended stop on pit road. He has 4 left. Not many. Not sure how many opportunities he's going to have to use those though. But he is the car with the most at the moment. So yeah, Luzon doing very well under braking, making up a lot of space there. He's cut it down to 1.1 seconds.
And there's another battle brewing right behind those guys where Oliveira just went by Dan Miglin, who spun out. That was the battle that was brewing, and Oliveira gets a spot.
Just like that, it's done.
Just putting the pressure. As Luzon has ran down James Watson again, and James Watson is on push to pass. He's that's the second to last for him, so he's got to be mindful of when to use that last one that he has. And yeah, that's something else that can happen.
Wide there on the exit of one.
Wide.
Yeah, he did, and that's going to allow all that space that he made up under push to pass. That is now gone, and we were right back to kind of where we were just about a lap prior.
Yeah, with the difference that now James Watson only has one left, and Luzon still has two. Although my graphic still shows two for both, but that's oh no.
I show one for Watson for sure. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, we've talked about that all season. Once you start to get that 100 extra horsepower in your car, your braking markers are gone. They're in an entirely different location, so you need to adjust for them, or you're gonna end up going wide or having to brake way too deep.
And it also impacts the way that you go into a corner and exit out of, because again, like we said, unlike IndyCar, when the second you come off 100% throttle, push to pass turns itself off. When you got push to pass engaged here, it's engaged for that entire time period, whether you're on 100% throttle or not.
Yeah, for sure. And throttle application is going to be much more of a kick than it usually is. I mean, these cars, they already pack a punch, and with that push to pass,
Luzon on push to pass. Here we go.
There we go, trying to gut for that P5.
He's going to pull it off even before we get to the corner. Now we got to see if he actually is going to hit his marks here. Like he said, he's moving much faster. I think he started his braking much earlier that time, so I think he's going to make it through. Yeah,
very nice move there.
From very textbook pass. Very textbook pass. Very impressive.
And he was able to build a 1 second gap immediately to Watson, so maybe he's going to be able to run away from here a little bit.
Yeah, maybe with a slightly different line through, what is that, 100R?
Yeah, 100R, yep.
Yeah, some people are right on the line, right on the white line. Some are mid line, some are higher up, trying to maintain that speed, not turn the wheel as much. And Watson's back. He's right there with him now again.
Back. And this might be a passing zone, like you said, Dunlop corner. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, he made all that ground. He made it back up in just a couple of corners.
Let's go through the field, take a look at everybody really quick here before we get to the white flag. As we are quickly approaching the end of the feature race. There's your leader, Christopher Hill. He leads by 2.5 seconds over your points leader, Rago. There he is. Rago started from the 8th spot up 6 for the feature. So he is looking at probably having a very good points day. P1 in the heat race, possibly P2 here in the feature, plus starting on the front row in qualifications. Vignon, the Frenchman, he is P3. That is not a car for position in front of him. That is Drew White. Drew White is 1 lap down there. Drew leading him on by very nicely.
What a solid race again from Mignon. Like you were saying last week, we were with him and we kind of jinxed him, but he was doing a fantastic job, and he's doing it again this week. So yeah, great job from that number 33 Corolla.
There's JJ Wang all by himself at the moment. He has 12 seconds up to Vignon and 9 seconds back to Luzon. So he, provided he hits his marks and everything, he has a pretty comfortable top 5 looking his way in the future. Here's Luzon. We were watching him not too long ago in a battle with James Watson for 5th. They are still battling out. There is James Watson right there in 6th. Oliveira not too far behind this group. If he had some more time, he might be able to run them down. Throwing luck to the wind with that number 13. He currently is in P7. Dan Miglin, who's had a couple of instances off, but is still recovered. He's in the opposite of the 13, the 31, and he is in P8. Matt Johnston, he is in a P9. And Poteet right there is in P10 as your top 10. Montero has recovered from probably was a pit road in penalty, but he is up to 11th, and he is the last car on the lead lap. And then there is Drew White right there. We just saw him. He is doing a good job learning the road courses. Much like me, he is an oval expert. So we don't turn right very well very often, but he's doing a much better job than I am. Making a good showing here in the Brazilian Stock Car Series. 12 cars currently running. First car out, Matthew Short, Josh Tucker, Macera. Oh, don't want to jinx Drew. He slid through 10 there a little bit, but kept it going. Call that a learning opportunity, I guess. And Bruno Miranda is rounding out the remainder of the field in 16th. So there's going to be some changing with points happening here at the conclusion of this battle, especially with Bruno Miranda finishing last here in the feature.
Yeah, Chris Hill is about to take the checkered here.
Yeah, he is doing the Isaac Morris weave down the front straight. And he gets the victory there over Facundo Rajo, excuse me. He just by over about 2 seconds. Ragon should be making, there he is. He makes the trip across the start finish line. Here comes JJ Wang. He's going to get himself another top 5. And as you mentioned, Luzon, he hung around and maintained. He was just kind of that mid-pack, worked his way up very slowly, methodically, finishing 5th. James Watson 6th. Oliveira right there, just coming into your picture in 7th. Now watching Dan Miglin, and currently who's in 8th, make a final set of corners here.
Little too tight.
Gonna hold it together. You can see the finish line and literally in sight. You can do it, Dan. We got you. And right behind him is Matt Johnston. And Alexander Poteet. And Montero, we're waiting for him. I think he might just be done.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I cannot hear any engine noise. I'm not sure if it blew up.
Yeah, not going to make it to the finish, so unfortunately, he will be classified in 11th. I don't know if that's going to cost him a penalty for not getting there or whatever, or I'm not sure how timing and scoring is going to give him a lap, or I don't know. We'll figure it out here anyways as we go ahead and close out today's coverage here of the feature race. Let's get the final standings up here just real quick, and then we'll get into the interview room.
So Chris Hill, that I mean, that's a great drive, and also, you know, making up for that last week issue at Summit Point on that heat race that really hurt him on the championship. But now he's makes it back to victory lane and earns his first Stock Carnival Do Brasil victory. So Priscil P1, followed by Facundo Raul, our points leader, who just keeps on adding even more points. Then we have Olivier Vignon, JJ Wang, Glenn Luzon, Great Top 5, James Watson, Rafael Oliveira, Dan Micklin, Matt Johnson, and Alexander Pochit. That's the top 10. Then we have Ezequiel Montero, Drew White, Josh Tucker, Matthew Short, Sebastian Maceira, who did a great job on the heat race, but had an incident on the feature, and Bruno Miranda, who also had issues on the feature race. That's also going to affect his championship hunt.
All right, let's check out the interview room here and bring up if Vignon is there. Hopefully he is, because we didn't get a chance to talk to him. I think he was on the podium last week, wasn't he? Can't remember. I think all we have is Christopher Hill, but that's you know what? I mean, I can't say that's all we have, because that's your winner. So let's go ahead and bring him on in. Hey, Chris, in the booth with Gary and Antonio. I didn't cover the BMW series when Race first covered it. I'm not sure if you won a race there or not, but as far as I'm concerned, this is the first race that you've been in with me doing color broadcasting and doing the play-by-play, and you've won. So congratulations on that. I've seen you race a number of times. About time we've seen you in the interview room here as the winner.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a drought. I mean, back in the BMW League stuff, I won the championship a handful of times with them and had a pretty good run there. But I decided to step into a little bit more competitive kind of stuff with the IndyCar and just other leagues and stuff like that. And it's definitely raised my game. And I've had some pretty random luck too along the way, especially this season in RIL and stuff like that. But yeah, it feels good to get back on the top step of the podium and get a little redemption for some of the craziness. I mean, even having to do a pit lane start here for this one.
Yeah.
A little bit silly for for last week's deal, but it is what it is. So.
Yeah. You we didn't get a chance. We'll talk about that first in the heat race. So you started shotgun because of apparently an unsafe rejoin at Summit Point, and it happens. We've all been there. And you started from the when it saw you put it on the front row, but you started from the pits. And the next thing we know, you're up in P6, which despite everything, not the maximum points, but still pretty good points. And it recovers you pretty well for the feature, which starts you third. And right there in the feature, you were pretty much right from the get-go going. Everyone seemed to be going 4 wide in the turn one, and you did pick up a little damage. I can't remember where you might have tell us about that, but eventually you did make the pass, and you battled it out a little bit for P1, and then kind of just drove away. So luck was definitely in your favor tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went as well as it could, all things considered. It would have been nice to have started the first race from where it qualified, but yeah, it was a little bit of a weird deal last week because there was a little contact, and I had a spin, and then I just kind of bounced off the tires and just lost focus on the fact there were people behind me. I didn't even realize I was rolling into traffic, and I got penalized a pit lane start for that, which I thought was a little harsh, but especially it started with contact from someone else. But whatever, it is what it is. I had a good fun time tonight and made up a lot of spots, and get up there, get a win finally. So it's it's been a lot of fun. Those guys battle hard, and it was a lot of fun having a run with Montero and I can never say their names right, but the two guys who were chasing us down there.
I have half the chat room making fun of me about it, so I have to refer to Antonio, who can say it with much more class than I can. But sure. Your car did sport some damage.
It was missing a trunk, and I don't know if it affected the outright performance or not.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. I mean, did it impact? I mean, it didn't look like it did, but we don't know enough really about these cars to say if it would or not. Now is my next question: is like you had some damage. Was there any impact at all, or did it impact the way that you had to drive it? Or
I didn't notice it. Like, it's not like the car handled any different, really, that I could tell or anything like that. If there was anything, maybe I don't know. Maybe I lost a little bit down the straightaway potentially, but I don't really know that I did, because it's like I still, even on push to pass, I still was hitting the rev limiter at the same spot, and that kind of stuff. So it might have been just cosmetic. It was like 1:10 of optionals, so that was would have been interesting, but whatever, it didn't affect it enough to ruin the race. I was kind of curious what happened to Montero though, because he went in. I thought he was going to come out. We were going to come out and could resume, and then he must have had like a speeding penalty or something.
I think it's a speeding penalty that we were guessing, because he was in his. You're only in the box for like 7 seconds, 9 seconds, and he was in there for 40 something. So that told us that it was probably a pit road speeding penalty.
Well, that's a
on
shame.
entrance.
It would have been fun to have battled to the finish. In one sense, glad I didn't have to, because he was very strong and had a lot of speed, and it would have been a little bit more work definitely to have held on to it. But it all works out in the long run. So,
Antonio, you have any questions?
No, I was gonna ask a little bit about that cosmetic damage, because I was looking at your lap times, Chris, and they basically never fell off. And you were having a great battle there with Ezequiel, but unfortunately he had that pit road issue. I don't really have anything to say except congratulations. This probably feels a little bit like revenge, a little bit, especially from last week where you had that issue. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
For sure. First off, I want to thank Team Watson Racing. They've kind of taken me on board this season and been helping me out a lot with the program in both the IndyCar and just having a great group of guys to kind of bounce ideas off of and work with. And it's definitely elevated things up. The setups that they're releasing are unbelievable. We've run a couple of them in a couple races that it's just kind of it's definitely not the usual shop setup. So having that to play around with as a resource has definitely helped in some of the officials and some of the other races, and even if the results haven't always come from my own crazy luck, but the speed's definitely been there with that. And then I always like to mention my company. I have a Precision Racing Instruction. It's a driving instruction company, so I work with mainly people in the real world in their own cars, either if they have to go racing or just track day kind of stuff. Also sometimes in the sim, depending on if someone wants to tune themselves up that way, we can help out a little bit there. So if anyone's interested in that, they could reach out through either Facebook, Instagram, or if you're on Discord, give me a ring that way. Big thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's always fun to share with people, and looking forward to. Unfortunately, I won't be at the next couple of rounds because I'm going to be off of BMW doing some coaching at Indianapolis, but hopefully I get back for the last couple of rounds of the series. And big thanks to JJ and them for putting on the series. It's a really fun car to drive. I don't know why people aren't racing it as much as they should. It's a really interesting one. So look forward to resuming once I get back from that trip. So.
All right, well, you got it. Congratulations on the win. Good points day for you. Looks like you said, you're going to sit out the next couple for real world stuff, but we'll see you when you return, whenever that might be. So until then, have a good one, and we'll see you when you make your return here in the series.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks much.
All right, well, that's it. We don't have anyone else in the interview room. So kind of give everyone back their Thursday nights here. Getting ready to go into Friday to start the weekend. Yay. Your thoughts on tonight, the race, and it was a bit of a different beast than that we saw at Summit Point. But then let's fast forward a little bit and give me your thoughts on how the racing will be when we get to Laguna Seca, which is I would say it's kind of more along the lines of Summit Point in terms of its width and everything, but definitely a big-time race car track that has that very historic corkscrew. How these guys are going to handle through that. So thoughts on the day and the thoughts for next week?
Yeah, I thought we had a great race today. Of course, a little different from what we were seeing at both Interlagos and Summit Point. And they did get a little bit more strung out, which is understandable due to the length and the width of the track. But we still have close battles all over the place. So this car is putting on a great show, and I cannot wait to try and see them go side by side on the corkscrew. That's gonna be a sight to behold. And I mean, like you said, it's a little bit of an narrower track compared to this one, but there are so many elevation changes. You go downhill, you go uphill, then you have the famous corkscrew, which is basically dropping 2 or 3 stories, and this car doesn't handle elevation changes that well. So it's going to be a handful for the drivers, and it's going to be a lot of fun for us to be watching how they manage the car and how they manage their tires.
All right. Well, let's get on out of here. We thank you for being patient with the microphone situation. Glad we got that resolved for everybody. But next week, it looks like we're going to have a fun one at Laguna Seca. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Fuji is Christopher Hill with his first win in the series. Facundo Rago, P2, and Olivier Vagon, the Frenchman, in P3. Join Antonio and myself again next week for the next round of Stock Car Day Brazil, coming to you from the home of the famous corkscrew, the Laguna Seca Raceway. As always, coverage begins right around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find everything here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below, let us know you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, make sure to support us by smashing like in the video, just like that. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Race Versus other iRacing programming, which we have a lot of, including the 4D Raceware Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split, Race Versus Formula Indy Series on Tuesdays, the Revolution Indy League Schaefer IndyCar Series on Wednesdays, and tomorrow you can join Antonio and myself as we will bring you the action of the IndyCar iRacing Series as it hits the newly released Indianapolis GP Road Course. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You won't want to miss it, but hit the bell, subscribe, and you won't do that. Miss it, that's what I mean. Anyways, keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries, learn more about Race First and what we do, you can go to racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us on our Twitter handles right here at the bottom of your screen right now. There's Race First, there's me, there's Antonio. So for Antonio and Strada, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all, good night. Thanks for watching. And to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week at Laguna Seca for the next race of the Stock Carnival de Brasil. Good night.